ladies and gents, my name's Tom Muldowney and I'm here on behalf of oneBoro. I'm fortunate enough to be joined by actor, comedian and Boro fan Neil Grainger. How's it going, Neil?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, great. Okay, so we're here at the Riverside on a surprisingly nice day.
Pitch looks unbelievable. So if people don't get excited about the new season, seeing how lush that is, then I don't know what will get them excited.
But we're alive and kicking. There's still that glimpse of light. 'Cause we're Middlesbrough Football Club, we don't give up without a fight.
So, what are your earliest memories of supporting Middlesbrough?
Ooh, earliest memories. Well, I think probably my first memory of the Boro was my first game. So it was 1987, and it was Leicester, and I was stood in the Hall gate with my dad. I remember John Hendry playing, because I remember thinking John Hendry was the best player I'd ever seen for quite a few years. And then I remember us being 2-1 down and my dad making me leave after 60 minutes, which was a bit gutting. And I remember not wanting to go because I couldn't understand why we were leaving and no one else was leaving. I never went to a Middlesbrough match with my dad again, because I think my dad's as fair weather a supporter as it gets, really. When Boro are playing well, he loves it. He's all over us. He can't get enough. The minute we start to lose a few games, he's the epitome of the typical Boro mentality, I think. So yeah, I've never been to a game with him since. So that's probably my first memory of Boro. And I suppose I'd kind of just missed the kind of euphoria after Gibson saved us and those players played for free. And I think it was pretty exciting to be in somewhere like the Holgate, because I was 10, and I think the feeling that when we scored that you were going to be crushed at any moment. I went with my sister's ex-husband now, and I remember he used to kind of stand with his hands on the barrier, and I would stand between him. I was only 10, and he would stop me from basically getting crushed.
Obviously, last season ended in disappointment. So where's that ranked amongst the low points that you've had supporting Middlesbrough?
I don't know if I feel like it was a low point. Maybe I'm supposed to. I just get the feeling that football is life in many ways. It sounds a bit kind of, a bit corny, but it's never ending. All right, there was a point where Middlesbrough could have stopped, and it could have died as such. But but we know we'll be back the next season, and I think the only thing that separates season to season is optimism for the next season. And when things are good, and things are really good at the moment, we didn't turn up at Wembley, we didn't get to the Premier League, but I feel like we're definitely one of the favourites this year. I mean, I don't think it ranks anywhere near as low as the times under, say, Strachan and unfortunately under, a couple of seasons under Mowbray, and the end of Southgate's reign, where you just felt like nothing was working. I don't see it as a bad season. I see it as a season where we played brilliantly. We won most of the games that we played. The team had great team spirit. We scored some unbelievable goals. I will never forget that season as the season where people, through doing the videos, people gave me a lot of love. And a lot, people came up and everybody wanted to talk to me about it. And I think people appreciated the sentiment behind it.
Callis, Ripley, Omeru, Gibson's Boro through and through, Kike, Boston, Annans, you, Gorgeous George, I heart you.
So that season I only have good memories of that season.
Brilliant, and that sort of takes me on to the next question. What are your better memories of supporting Middlesbrough?
Better memories. That season where Robson took over, and I had a season ticket that season, and it was the optimism. I suppose those 2-3 years, really, the season that Robson took us over and we went straight up, and we brought in some really talented players, even like the excitement of getting someone like Fjortoft come in, and then getting someone like Barmby come in, and then Janino come in, and Ravanelli, and Emerson, and Branco, and lots of players who you just never imagined would come to the Boro, and the Janino years, the first time he was there, were just amazing. It was. I suppose it's the equivalent of watching the best player in the world come. I mean, the fact that Boro could get the South American Player of the Year at that age, and have him want to play for us and care about playing for us, and come back was incredible. So I suppose that was an amazing memory for me. but saying that, probably my favourite moment was that quarter-final and that semi-final in the UEFA Cup. I was here for both the home legs, and I've never experienced anything like it. When Macaroni scored that goal against Stoya, I've never been in a ground where I felt like the ground would collapse, and I felt like the ground was going to collapse when that goal went in. I don't think I've experienced euphoria like that.
So you mentioned Juninho there. Is he your favourite player?
Yeah, definitely. I was part of the samba band that welcomed Juninho to the Riverside, and that was a pretty special day. And I've never seen anyone so humble and clearly so talented as he was. Juninho was the first time I'd seen a Boro player whose sole purpose was to run at people. I'd seen people who wanted to run around people, but I'd never seen anyone as brave as him. Never seen anyone, 5'5" or wherever he was, square up to people like Philippe Albert and, get booked for fouling Tony Yeboah and people like that. I'd never seen anything like that. So yeah, he was definitely my favourite player.
Okay, brilliant. So what have you been up to since the playoff final?
Just working in London as an actor, doing what actors do, really. I do a lot of voiceovers and motion capture, so I was working on the last Assassin's Creed game, doing quite a few documentary voiceovers for National Geographic, and which always surprises me that they want someone from Teesside to narrate documentaries for National Geographic, but I'm fine with that. I've been making a new video. That playoff final was pretty devastating because I think we felt like it was our season. And I hate to say it, it kind of felt by half time that it was over. I spent the second half planning my next video because I think I wanted to capitalise on the feeling of last season and keep it going, because in many ways it's a kind of it's a way of helping myself feel optimistic for the new season. The premise is it's a training video, and the idea is that we as fans need to train as hard as the players do. And it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but the idea is we have to be match ready. The players need to get fit pre-season. We need to get fit. We need to be optimistic. We need to be ready to hit the ground running as soon as we start. I love the club, but I think it's rare to say this, that I love the chairman just as much as the club. He's going to try and get us back to the big time, and I just feel like we can help that. We can really help that, and all we have to do is just believe. Like last season, I mean, it's corny, but I think it's more than just a hashtag that we put on Twitter or Facebook, and I think it's got to be a way of life. All going well, I'm going to get it played on the big screen here before kick-off on the first home game against Bolton. And yeah, I just suppose I just want to keep that, do my bit, do what I can to kind of keep that feeling of last season going, because that feeling was really special, and it felt really good to be a Boro fan at that time, and I think it should always feel like that.
So what's given you the ideas to produce the videos in the first place?
Well, the idea was I'm as an actor, I have lots of time where I'm not doing anything, and I try and keep myself busy, and I try and be as proactive as I can making stuff. So I had a month where I didn't have pretty much any work, and my fiancée was out of work most days, so I was kind of it just happened to be an important month for Boro, where we looked like we were, it was looking promising, and we were right at the top. And Bob Mortimer had made a video. He'd made a video with Lee Tomlin with a massive kind of paper mache head.
You gotta believe, because he believes. You believe, don't you, Lee? See that? Yeah. So come on, believe.
And he tweeted it, and I thought it was hilarious. I love Bob Mortimer, and he said on the tweet, he said, "If tweet your videos if you can do better." And I thought, well, I don't know if I can do better, but I might make a video. So I was in a TV show called Hebburn, and I played this ridiculous club singer called Gervais.
We were just talking about how Vicky can do anything she wants. Anything at all.
Of course you can, baby. But as long as it's not on a Tuesday or Thursday afternoon, yeah? But she does my fake tan then, and at this stage in my career, I can't risk having an uneven coat.
And I have the costume, because I do a lot of live gigs as the character. I just made a little video, and a few thousand people watched it. The Gazette put it on their website, and I got some nice responses from it, and I thought, that's quite fun.
We can do this. Come on, the Boro.
I'd had an idea for ages about taking We Didn't Start the Fire and changing the lyrics and rejigging it so that it had all the Boro players' names in. So I had play with that. I wasn't sure if it would work, and then once I'd kind of put it together, I thought, oh, well, it might work. And then when we filmed it, it sort of did.
Whitehead, Carriola, Yala, Fredericks and Brobble, Yannick, Vilcher, Lee Tomlin, the thickest neck I've ever seen. Big Albert down the wing, Williams, Woodgate, Mark Kitching, Leadbitter, Magic Man, Mayers, Forshaw, Clayton.
So that was kind of the beginning, and I didn't expect that I'd do anything other than that. Just made that video, and then I think it was just Twitter's an interesting thing because you suddenly realise how many people watch it, I suppose, and how many people like it, and then it was just, there was a momentum then, and the club had been incredibly supportive and kind of said, well, you know, if you want to continue doing them, then we'll start to support you doing them. So that's been a real joy, you know. It feels like I work for my football club a little bit, you know, and that's one of my dreams.
What does the Believe campaign signify for you?
I think it signifies the most important thing, I think, for fans really is about optimism. It's about optimism, and it's a spirit of enjoyment, and it's a spirit of love.
We're all proper nervous, that's hard to ignore. But when we reach that stadium, you're gonna hear the Boro roar.
Middlesbrough have some of the most amazing fans in the game. I mean, you know, when you see the Red Faction, you know, and when you see Middlesbrough at any ground, and I genuinely believe this, I've never watched a game on TV or been to a game at another stadium where you haven't heard the Boro fans. I think some people look at our players like, if I shout to them as hard as I can how rubbish they are, they'll be better. And I don't believe that works. I don't believe players play better because of nastiness and because of, you know, of negativity. I think players play better when they feel nurtured and they feel loved and they feel people support them. I think, you know, we say confidence players as if that's a bad thing. Oh, he's a confidence player. Well, yeah, I mean, we're all confidence people. We look at our lives and we're all better because somebody loves us or somebody supports us and people give us things and want to make us stronger as human beings.
We're the Boro and we're off to Wembley, going back to the Premier League. Whoa, whoa. We're built on steel and iron, we're Boro and we believe. Whoa, whoa.
One of my last videos, I met George Friend. He is an amazing guy. He's a lovely guy. But you could tell, the minute I talked about what's it like around the dressing room, his eyes lit up. Because he could feel what we were giving him. What the team were producing was, obviously, we can't make a result, but the 12th man thing, I think, exists. You make people feel loved and supported, and the minute they arrive on that pitch, you support them. And you support them for that 90 minutes, and they play better. There is no typical Boro. Typical Boro is a mentality. It's not a thing that you have with Boro. Typical Boro is what we try and say because we want to protect ourselves from being hurt by Boro again. But it shouldn't work like that. It should be about the excitement that we've had. We should look at the good things that have happened to our team. Because it is a small town in Yorkshire who now have an incredible ground and the best training facilities and an amazing manager and amazing players. And that's why I believe.
We're Middlesbrough. We're Middlesbrough Football Club.
The videos have now been viewed over 300,000 times and counting.
Yeah.
Has the fans' reaction surprised you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea this was going to happen, really. This is a labour of love. I am a fan. Who decided to just make a few videos with a mate who had a camera. So when we filmed that first video, we just went down with a camera and basically we looked around when no one was looking. We'd film certain shots, and you know, especially at one point I took a repossessed sign and stuck it outside the gates of Craven Cottage. And again, it was just kind of like we were just kind of going renegade. We didn't expect that it would be viewed. We didn't expect it would get on Soccer AM. We didn't expect that it would be viewed by the Boro fans, and I didn't expect that people would like it so much. Hundreds of people came over and said how much they enjoyed it and how much their kids enjoyed it, and I suppose that's the key, isn't it? You know, getting people when they're young, you know, making the kids wear Boro shirts and not Man United shirts at school, and making them love the Boro from a very early age. I had no idea it was going to turn into this, and it's been the best experience I've ever had.
From Linthorpe Road to Essen and down across the River Tees, don't you remember? We're Middlesbrough Football Club.
Big part of the videos is you making no secret of being proud to represent the area. What does Teesside mean to you?
I've lived in London now for 18 years, and I remember when I first moved to London, you would be on the tube and you would walk past certain parts of the tube and you could see Dorman and Long, Middlesbrough written on certain girders, and that made me incredibly proud, really. A brilliant area that I'm fiercely defensive of, and and I think some people see the area through this kind of southern mentality's eyes of it's just a poor northern town, and I think it's so much more than that. We have such. I think I'd like to take all the people who don't think Middlesbrough is just all the industrial works and smog, and I'd like to take them and show them Great Ayton and Stokesley and these Aston Hills and just so many incredible things that Teesside and the area has. The Transporter is as iconic and beautiful a thing as any city has. I don't think there's been a single occasion where I haven't seen it hasn't come into view driving a car and suddenly you see it and you don't go, wow, because it's amazing. And I was in New York a few years ago, and I went up to the top of the Rockefeller Center. As I got to the top, you go through this door and then you walk out to this view. And as I walked out this view, and a guy walked past me and went, "You're joking, aren't you?" And it was just like, we're everywhere. Teessiders are everywhere. Certainly the greatest person I ever knew, which was my mother, was born and bred, and generations of her family. My entire family goes as far back as I know, and they're all Teesside. I think I'm the first person ever to leave Teesside, but it's brought me back again. So I suppose Teesside, there's a spirit that we have in Teesside. There's a fighting spirit, and I suppose that's why I'm so kind of conscious that we bring it to the football club. That we keep it, because there's something unique we have, that we stand out from Sunderland and Newcastle and any other kind of northern town, and that we have this. We love where we're from. We can take the mick out of it as much as we want, but if anybody says another word about it, then, they're in trouble.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
I believe.
We believe.
I believe.
So what is it about the current setup at the club that has made you believe?
I think there are many things that we've had for years that are now more apparent. We haven't filled this ground for a long time, and filling it against Brentford made us, I think, realise that we are a Premier League club. I mean, nobody came to that match that didn't think this is a Premier League side. With the pitch here looks astounding. I mean, that is a Premier League pitch. The training facilities, absolutely. I mean, the manager is a quality manager, and not just quality in the sense that he knows what he's doing, but in the sense that he has a job to do. It could have been very easy for him to jump ship, I think, pre-season. He would have, had he have not had a chairman like Steve Gibson, who is the finest chairman that any football club has ever had, I think he probably could have walked and probably taken the Newcastle job and got a little bit more money, or probably gone and taken, another lucrative job that might have been on offer. I think the players, we've got some quality players. It's been a long time since I've watched us sign so many players, and the vast majority of them were really good. And like bringing in someone like Forshaw, I mean, that shows real intent, because I don't think anyone looked at that midfield with Clayton and Ledbetter and thought, yeah, we're missing something here. And it's all again backed up with a chairman who is willing to do whatever he can, season in, season out.
Okay, looking forward then, what do you think the upcoming season has in store?
I think it's going to be a really good one. I think we'll get automatic promotion. I really believe that we will. I think there were obviously a couple of things that didn't go our way last season. I think there were a couple of injuries, especially at right back, it didn't really help us. The signs already are really good for the new season. I think there's a solidity there. There are areas that we are really strong in. This is my thing. I think we've got to look, as fans, we've got to look at the new season as an opportunity to keep the momentum and the spirit that we had on that walk to Wembley Way and here in the ground for the Brentford home leg. We've got to keep that, and we've got to push it into the next season. And I don't think, there is a possibility we might lose 2 or 3 games in the beginning of the season. We might take a bit of time to get into the run of things. But we can't lose momentum. It's a long season, but if we just keep at it, I think it'll be amazing. And hopefully it'll be full enough that we won't be able to hear the seagulls.
Do you have a message for the fans?
I suppose the first thing, thank you. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for sending me messages of support, for making them, for, that you enjoyed it, that, some people enjoyed it regardless of my singing being terrible.
When I climb onto that stage and open up my lungs, something magical happens.
Aye, everyone disappears.
But I suppose that. Thank you for that, really. Some of the comments that people have sent me on Facebook or Twitter, or said to me on Wembley Way, or said to me before matches at the Riverside, I'll never forget them. And that, I can't explain what that means. Like, as an actor, I've done lots of jobs that I've enjoyed, and Hebburn was one of my favourite ever jobs.
First things first, you bargain basement boobly, out.
Denise.
Now!
Yep.
It was a great feeling. But I've never experienced something like doing these Believe videos. It's infectious because I love my football team. It sounds corny, but I suppose it's that you'll never notice how much I love you in that Boro song. It's kind of like, I suppose what I want is just people to notice, the club to notice how much I love them. Really, it sounds a bit corny, but that's what I want. I just wanted to do something for my football team, and it feels great to keep doing it. And if people keep wanting it, then I'll keep doing it. And then as soon as people are like, yeah, we've had enough, mate, then I'll stop. But I suppose to the Boro fans, thank you for everything that you've done so far. And I suppose just, if I can, just say let's just be optimistic for the new season. And if Basel and Stoya, and even look at Liverpool against in the Champions League against AC Milan, the only way is to forget those feelings of negativity and just and have blind faith, because that's what football supporting's got to be, blind faith, because I love my team regardless.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you. You've been great.